Would that be considered?
Would that be considered
Violence.
violence?
Our union sometimes wheat paste posters
Wheat-based posters,
and some people may consider that property damage.
may consider that property damage.
Is that violence?
Is that violence?
Director's
Possession's not are we still looking for staff? Are you still Yeah, Nick was.
But mic check.
I'm going to step out of my facilitator role when I make this point. Is that all right? So I'm one of the Kingian nonviolence trainers. And the word nonviolence, a lot of people have misconceptions about. So while I do support adopting the idea of nonviolence, I think before we do that, we need better clarification. Maybe look at what other cities have done. In New York, they have a document. That's not called a nonviolence document. But a code of conduct. Maybe that would be more useful. Sasha?
Nonviolence is hard.
Nonviolence is hard.
I think we need more
I think we need more
than a piece of paper
than a piece of paper
or a proposal.
or a proposal.
If we're going to commit to nonviolence,
If we're going to commit to nonviolence,
we really need to have training
we really need to have training
in how to live nonviolently.
on how to live nonviolently.
Yeah, we're getting through the original staff.
So mic check. Before we continue a stack, can I see a temperature check about the proposal as it stands now? Okay, thank you.
Okay. My name is Megan.
My name is Megan.
And please correct me if I'm wrong.
And please correct me if I'm wrong.
But I thought that this whole thing started with Occupy Wall Street. And they do, or they have, specifically stated that they are nonviolent. And as an Occupy Together organization, and movement, we all stand together. So wouldn't that mean that we do adopt that we are nonviolent? And if so, does that mean that we need, as a group for Just Phoenix, that we adopt another proposal for this?
Last one is Rick.
My name is Rick, and I learned a lesson a very long time ago. The good you do is never remembered. The bad you do is never forgotten.
Let's do a direct response.
This is the direct response
This is a direct response
to what Nick said. The legal team and the media team already made a code of conduct before we even started occupying. You can find it on Facebook. And it's at the info booth.
Can I get a temperature check? On continuing this discussion?
So, mic check. I've seen a lot of this. So does that mean that we need more information before making a decision?
Clarifying question?
I have a question. For Sean about the original proposal. I'm having a time wording it.
I'm having a hard time wording it.
But I would like clarification
But I would like clarification
about civil disobedience
about civil disobedience
and the relationship to nonviolence.
and the relationship to nonviolence.
Mic check.
Mic check.
First let me say, even though I'm proposing this, I'm by no means a pacifist.
I'm by no means a pacifist.
When I say nonviolence, I'm talking about hurting people.
I'm talking about hurting people.
I hadn't thought about breaking windows.
I hadn't thought about breaking windows.
I hadn't thought about cursing at people.
I hadn't thought about cursing at people.
I was thinking about hurting people.
I was thinking about hurting people.
In terms of civil disobedience,
In terms of civil disobedience,
I don't think that says anything is wrong
I don't think that says anything is wrong
with civil disobedience.
with civil disobedience.
I'm
I'm confused.
Going off a little bit of what Megan said,
Going off a little bit of what Megan said,
I thought we had decided, based on the idea that we have as a movement,
based on the idea that we have as a movement,
stated that we are nonviolent,
stated that we are nonviolent.
I thought we had also decided
In
earlier GAs
GAs
that we would be self-governing.
that we would be self-governing.
Okay, so we have a point of pressure here.
Point?
And then
I just want to remind us
I just want to remind us
that the events in Oakland
that the events in Oakland
are still very fresh
are still very
in
fresh
the minds of the public.
in the minds of the public.
So perhaps reiterating our dedication
our dedication
to loving our fellow man
to loving our fellow man
as we choose persons, it would be beneficial towards all of us.
beneficial towards all of us.
I think part of the concern
I think part of the concern
is despite the fact we have a code of conduct
we have a code of conduct
and that as a Occupy Together movement, we are nonviolent. Some individuals who are members of this community seem to struggle with keeping to that principle. I'm not sure as much as I personally favor the proposal, that the proposal is going to address that.
So mic check. We have one more person on stack.
Hey guys, I'm Adrian. I propose that on Saturday we do nonviolent. And
What a process.
what's the other? Well, peaceful.
This is about no events. It's not about events.
could be a friendly amendment. I think that might be what he's trying to say.
Okay.
I just thought it'd be cool if we occupy as a nation our interstate highways. That's peaceful disobedience that will draw attention to what really matters. That while they cannot transport their oil,
Mic check.
gold has to feed us.
Mic check. Right now, we're talking about this specific proposal. That sounds like a new proposal. So we're gonna move on for a moment.
Thank you. Just keep it in mind.
Bring it up a bit.
Bring it back up.
I have a suggestion. It sounds like a lot of us want some more clarification still. Can I get a temperature check?
Can I get a temperature check?
So maybe we should ask Sean to come up with a clarified document to bring back tomorrow night.
I'll help
Temperature
you.
check?
Workshops, something like that. Group involved.
If anyone else is interested
If anyone else is interested
in helping to create that document,
in helping to create that document,
they could talk to you.
they can talk to you.
If I were to amend
If I were to amend
the proposal to more simply state
the proposal to more simply state
that we do not support
that we do not support
harming other people,
harming other people,
here, could that pass?
could that pass?
And I ask because
And I ask because
it's concerning to me
it's concerning to me
that we can't pass this.
that we can't pass this.
Because to me that means
Because that means
there are people here who do support violence
there are people here who do support violence
in the eyes of the media,
in the eyes of the media,
and frankly, as a Facebook admin,
and frankly, as a Facebook admin,
I feel like I'm not empowered
I feel like I'm not empowered
to cut off people who are getting very vile and violent.
to
to
cut off
stop people that are getting very violent and violent.
So mic check.
Mic check.
It sounds like
It sounds
the
like
second part you said
the second part you said
isn't even clear
isn't even clear
in your proposal.
in your proposal.
So that could be an excellent example
That could be an excellent example
of something to add
of something to add
to the new proposal.
to the new proposal.
And I think a lot of us
And I think a lot of us
have questions,
have
need
questions,
clarification.
need clarification.
I'm a nonviolence trainer,
I'm a nonviolence trainer,
and I need clarification.
and I need clarification.
It doesn't mean that
It doesn't mean
I
that
support violence.
I support violence.
Much simpler than not hurting people.
Clarifying question?
About as simple as it can get.
Friendly amendment. Sean,
Sean.
maybe
Maybe
if it's stated
If
it's stated
not to harm a fellow human
not to harm a fellow human
and not to use hate speech,
and not to use hate speech,
maybe that'll pass.
maybe that'll pass.
So mic check.
Mic check.
This sounds like great discussion
This sounds like great discussion
to have to make a nice proposal,
to make a nice proposal,
a very thorough proposal
a very thorough proposal
for tomorrow.
for tomorrow.
Do we have any disagreements with moving on?
Do we have any disagreements with moving on?
If we made one tonight, we could always amend it tomorrow, but whatever. We could say we don't want to hurt people, and then tomorrow say we don't want to hurt people, and we also don't want to say this.
Okay, process.
I'm not going to
So I'd suggest
So I'd suggest
that anyone who feels strongly about this
anyone who feels strongly about
and
this
the exact wording
and the exact
in
wording
this proposal
for this proposal
should meet with Sean after the GA.
should meet with Sean after the GA.
And we'll bring this back tomorrow.
And we'll bring this back tomorrow.
Do I have any blocks to that idea?
Do I have any blocks to that idea?
So with that,
So with that,
we'll go to the next item.
we'll go to the next item.
It's titled
It's titled
GA Organization.
GA Organization.
Who proposed that?
Who proposed that?
When I looked up
When I looked up
to that proposal board,
That proposal board.
it was blank.
It was blank.
So top through your mind.
so it's out of your mind.
The first one
The first one
was way longer than I thought.
was way longer than I thought.
So I promise these two
So I promise these two
are going to be short.
are going to be short.
So short.
So short.
So I'm going to request
And I'm going to request
there are no more than 5
There are no more than 5
points, people talking
people talking
on each,
on each,
and I will not speak after my proposal.
and I will not speak after my proposal.
GA organization.
GA Organization.
Our GA has a problem
Our GA has a problem
with that our notes
with that our notes
are not hitting any publication.
are not hitting any publication.
I don't know
I don't know
what's happened in previous GAs.
What's happened in previous GAs?
It's also
It's also
always a gamble
Always a gamble
on whether we might have a facilitator
on whether we might have a facilitator
here or not
here or not
for the GA.
for the GA.
And one more point on this
And
And one more point on this
is that if I need to see
is that I need to see
a list of consensus decisions
a list of consensus decisions
without digging through 30 million notes
without digging through 30 million
and
notes
spending 48 hours reading with no sleep.
and spending 48 hours reading with no sleep.
I have no idea what's going on.
I have no idea what's going on.
So my proposal
So my proposal
is that
Is that
we create a GA committee small
we create a GA committee
that is responsible
that is responsible
for making sure there is a facilitator,
for making sure there is a
for
facilitator,
making sure there is a note taker,
making sure there is a note taker,
for ensuring the notes are published,
for ensuring the notes are published.
Notes can be published in a day,
Notes can be published in a day.
but consensus decisions must be posted in 60 minutes.
Must be posted in 60 minutes.
In a single document.
In a single document.
That continues on.
That continues on.
So mic check.
Mic check.
We have a point of information.
We have a point of information.
Sean basically kind of covered it.
Sean
basically kind of covered it.
That we'd already come to consensus.
That we already come to consensus.
That all notes.
That all notes
are published.
are published
Within 60 minutes.
within 60 minutes
Of the GA.
of the GA.
So this just adds to that 60 minutes. Something else has to be done.
So this just adds that 60 minutes. Something else.
I think this relaxes that.
I think this relaxes that.
Because now notes have 24 hours. But consensus decisions have 60 minutes.
Have 60 minutes.
Friendly amendment?
Wait, so we have a clarifying question.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Where is our note taker?
Our note taker.
F.
I couldn't see him, so I'm doing it on my iPod. I don't have a piece of paper
Okay,
to put.
thank you.
We've had a
Did
few
their note taker go away?
He
Yeah.
ran off.
So,
Thank you.
mic check.
Mic check.
We're going to go to stack in a moment.
We're going to go to stack in a moment.
I have a clarifying question.
I have a clarifying question.
Is this proposal
Is this proposal
for a new committee
for a new committee
or for a new set of guidelines?
or a new set of guidelines?
It is
It is
for a new set of guidelines
for a new set of guidelines
that needs to be that a committee
that a committee
needs to be accountable for.
needs to be accountable for.
Because if we just say
Because just say
that we will do it
that we will do it,
and it's amorphous,
and it's amorphous,
everyone thinks someone else
everyone thinks someone else
is gonna do it.
is going to do it.
So, mic check.
Mic check.
We're going to go into stack.
We're going to go to stack.
I'm gonna pass on my friendly amendment. Okay. So anyone else on stack guy?
I just had a note.
I just had a note.
The IT media team
The IT media team
is going to try to
is going to try to
transcribe the notes
Transcribe the notes
immediately after the meetings.
immediately
after the meetings.
It has been difficult to do that so far
It has been difficult to do that so far
because we've been setting up infrastructure.
because we've been setting up infrastructure.
Obviously, since we're here right now,
Obviously, since we're here right now,
we're getting to a point where we can participate more.
we can get to a point where we can participate more.
We will also print out some forms
Print out some forms
which have fields in them
which have fields in them,
identifying and highlighting
identifying and highlighting
specific points
specific points,
and also proposals
also proposals,
so they're quick to find and read
so they're quick to find and read.
for anyone who can pick it up and just walk by and just glance at it.
So anyone that can really get out here and walk by.
I think that is something that this GA committee
this GA committee
would leverage.
would leverage.
But I don't think changes
I don't think it changes
the proposal.
the proposal.
It was just a note. It wasn't a. It was just. I understand.
So mic check.
Mic check.
We see a temperature check
We see a temperature check
about this proposal.
about this proposal.
Are there any disagreements?
Are there any disagreements?
Ryan, you're on stack first.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot.
I just walked down the street.
Walk down the street.
Ran into an old friend
Ran into an old friend
who was opening for Wiz Khalifa.
Who's opening for Wiz Khalifa?
He's on the Phoenix Styles dance crew.
He's
on the Phoenix Styles dance crew.
I gave him a button and
gave him
a
a
piece of
what?
paper
A button and a piece of paper
with the directions here
with the
Directions here
to give to Wiz Khalifa
Give to Wiz Khalifa.
personally.
personally.
I've seen on YouTube
I've seen on YouTube
where Wiz Khalifa
where Wiz Khalifa
supports the movement.
supports the movement.
So hopefully he'll be out here later.
So hopefully we'll be out here later.
Media team will be right there, man.
So mic check.
check.
That was an announcement.
That was an announcement.
Thanks for sharing.
Thanks for sharing.
But we're doing proposals.
We're doing proposals.
But it's great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go back to the process.
Mike and Cindy.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Hi, my name is Mike.
Hi,
My name is Mike.
I'm with the web dev team,
I'm with the web dev team,
and I'm a little concerned
and I'm a little concerned
about the hard rule
about the hard rule
about a 60-minute time limit
About
a 60-minute time limit
to get up the consensus.
to get up the consensus.
Maybe we could make that
Maybe we can make that
Something like, we'll try our best.
We'll try our best
To get it up in 60 minutes.
to get it up in 60 minutes.
Do we have a stack?
No, that was
Okay.
Mike, I understand what you're saying,
I understand what you're saying,
but the consensus was already made
but the consensus was already made
last week
last
about getting the notes up
about getting the notes
in
up
60 minutes.
in 60 minutes.
That was consensus upon.
That was consensus upon.
We're not going to be that mad if it's not. It's not going to tear your throat out.
I mean,
All right, mic check.
understand-
Mike check.
4 lines.
Happens.
That wasn't a hard
That wasn't hard.
and fast rule.
Fast rule.
Yes, it was.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
It was consensus upon
I
that
was
it
here.
60 minutes.
All right, so one at a time. One at a
It's my
time.
moment. It's
One.
my moment.
So Mike check.
Mic check.
We need to respect each other.
We need to respect each
So
other.
every voice is heard.
So every voice is heard.
Maybe I remembered incorrectly,
Maybe I remembered incorrectly,
but I thought it was,
but I thought it was.
we would try our best
We would try our best
to get it up in 60 minutes.
to get it up in 60 minutes.
Because there isn't always
Because there isn't always
someone available
someone available
to get these on the web
to get these on the web
in 60 minutes.
in 60 minutes.
I think that's already tacitly
I was just
understood.
going to ask,
I was just going to ask
if the IT web dev team
if the IT web dev team
were included in the conversation
were included in the conversation
about whether or not it was possible
about whether or not it was possible
to get that up
to get that up
in 60 minutes.
in 60 minutes.
Thank you so much.
Sean?
Mike check. There is a guitar
Was I asked if it's possible?
missing.
An electric acoustic guitar.
An
Electric acoustic
guitar.
Bummer.
I cannot find it.
Cannot find it.
Find it.
So nobody went over there and watched it?
So that was just an emergency announcement about an electric guitar missing. So we'll get back to stack.
Sean, are you
Cindy, were you on staff?
Sean, are you proposing
that a person from the GA committee
that a person from the GA committee
would be at every GA?
would be at every GA?
I've been to a GA
I've been to a GA
where no one was willing to take notes.
where no one was willing to take notes.
I could only be at that GA
I could only be at that GA
for half of the GA,
for half of the GA,
and I couldn't be near a computer
and I couldn't be near a computer
for 6 hours.
for 6 hours.
But I took notes.
notes
in the absence of anyone else.
in the absence of anyone else.
And that's been since that consensus.
And that's been since that consensus.
Because no one else was willing.
Because no one else was willing.
Okay.
So what this would do
So what did you do?
is that technically no one from the GA
So that technically no one from the GA
committee would have to be there,
would have to be there,
but they are responsible
but they are responsible
for making sure the GA runs smoothly.
for making sure the GA runs smoothly.
So if they can do that
So if they can do that
without being there,
without being there,
that's great.
that's great.
But I would doubt that.
But I would doubt that.
And if it didn't run smoothly,
And if it didn't run smoothly,
they are accountable for that.
they are accountable for that.
I think that we all understand.
Sorry, guys.
That we all understand that there are emergencies. We all know. That sometimes we're short on manpower. Or that we have internet outages. I think that if there was some situation that prevented the consensus decisions from being published within 60 minutes, it would be sufficient if an admin were to post on the Facebook page that there's been a delay, and we estimate that we'll have the notes available later this afternoon. So that people like me who can't be here for all the GAs know how often I need to check back.
Do we have anybody else on staff? No.
So mic check. Before we go on with stack, can I just see a temperature check about this proposal, which includes a new committee and some new guidelines. Thank you.
So I have a question.
So I have a question.
We also agreed.
We also agreed
that every General Assembly.
that every General Assembly
would start with a summary.
would start with a summary
of the consensus that happened.
of the consensus that happened
at the prior General Assembly.
at the prior General Assembly.
I understand that the noon GAs.
I understand that the new GAs
don't have very many people.
don't have very many people.
And maybe there's not a lot of consensus that's happening.
And maybe there's not a lot of consensus that's happening.
But if big things are happening,
Big things are happening.
you're supposed to hear about it today.
We're supposed to hear about it today.
I also have a question.
I also have a question.
If we make a committee,
Shouldn't
the social media
social media
be very big part of agreeing if they can do it in 60 minutes?
being a big part of
agreeing if they can do it in 60 minutes.
Well, if you have a direct response to that, direct response.
Yes.
Okay with that.
I am on
I'm
the Facebook team.
on the Facebook team.
I can say
I can say
that I think we can do that.
I think we can do that.
This is quick.
This is quick.
I've observed
I've observed
that usually
that
the person taking notes
the person taking notes
is a woman.
is a woman.
I would ask my brothers to step up. I don't care how bad your handwriting is.
I don't care how bad your handwriting is.
Take notes.
Take notes.
And that this committee have some mindfulness of that.
Have some mindfulness of that.
I took notes last night.
Okay.
I'll take notes tomorrow.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Noon General Assembly
New General Assembly
did come to one consensus
did come to one consensus
that there would no longer
that there would no longer
be a need for
be a need for
a noon General Assembly.
a new General Assembly.
It is now going to be
It is now going to be
a sort of open mic
a sort of open mic
where we just discuss
where we just discuss
anything important
anything important
that's been happening today so far.
that's been happening today so far.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
As facilitator,
As facilitator,
I meant to bring up
I meant to bring up
the earlier GAs
the earlier GA's
consensuses,
consensuses,
but I couldn't find any.
but I couldn't find any.
And now we know why.
And now we know why.
So that's great.
That's great. So mic check.
Mic check.
We'll open stack right now.
We'll open stack right now.
If you want to be on stack,
If you want to be on stack,
raise your hand right now.
raise your hand right now.
And after that, we'll close stack.
We'll close stack.
Who wants to be on stack?
On this issue.